Take one, marker.
Wow. I'm going to turn this around so you don't have an illegal trademark.
Yeah, they're going to sue me for all my pennies.
No one will be able to tell what this is from the bottle. They would need to see the label.
Hey, Bays and Booze, welcome to the final installment of Toxic Sips. The podcast has been rocking its costume all month long, and it's been a great spooky month, baby. Sippers, grab your gauntlets, your cauldrons, your chalices, your skulls, and your Starbeast tumblers, because it's time for Toxic Sips. I am your host, Jess Cisneros, a.k.a. Jayfoxx, helping you get through your ebbs and flows this week on another spook-worthy week. Just like that, happy Halloween, ghouls and goblins and bays and booze out there. I hope this month has been spooktacular, imaginative, and simply full of delights. I hope you have enjoyed Toxic Sip so far and the vast array of styles in each individual episode. Today, we are closing off with the infamous, yes, I said it, the infamous Chris Bonifay, who lets me host my very barely spooky show here in his very, very dark manner. Also joining me today is our mutual friend, OG buddy, JP Lee. What's up, guys?
How you doing?
What's up?
So who's who? And I also appreciate that you put on the Sent to Destroy beanie because
free plug-in.
I mean, the man doesn't need it, but some might confuse you guys to be the same ghoul.
Yeah, I'm Laverne. This is Shirley.
You guys,
just happy to be here.
These guys right here are the OG ghouls. They've lived a few spooky lifetimes, and we are, we
haven't lived that long.
A few spooky lifetimes. Why are you throwing us under the bus?
I got these old ass motherfuckers on here.
Old as dirt, these guys.
They're going to talk to us about
They're falling apart.
Back when pumpkins first came into fashion.
How do you know that?
Halloween started when it was Friday, I think, right, Chris?
Yeah, I think it was like 26, 27, right around there.
These ain't jokes. These ain't jokes.
We're vampires. We've been alive.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But yeah, they're really well versed in the cavernous land that is all things spooky and Halloween. I was curious as to how close these two ghouls, or goblins, if you will, pals were, and how far back their friendship went. I'm asking these guys today several questions, placing them in horror flicks that they've both seen, and I'm just trying to see how well they know each other and their fight or flight responses.
I don't watch a lot of horror movies, so this could go.
He's like, why do you?
I get real scared. I get real spooky.
A little scared by this lighting.
Spooked easy.
Hold on though. I am being a terrible host. What are we sipping today here at Toxic Sips?
I'm having an old fashioned made with Rogue's bourbon, actually.
Dead Guy Ale whiskey.
Dead Guy Ale, yeah.
Ooh.
I didn't know
I
they made
don't
one.
know that it's a bourbon.
It's
what
probably
is
a
it?
whiskey, but
they're vague about it, so I'm going to say it's not a bourbon.
It's a whiskey.
It's probably not in Kentucky.
They don't know what they're drinking, and that's okay because
It's just whiskey. I'm drinking Maker's Mark.
ooh, I appreciate you guys had really, really cool mixer or whatever, the little straw thingies with skulls that go.
yeah, little skulls.
And,
That's the skewers for the cherries, because we started out old-fashioning it.
and now it's
Because we're old, apparently.
Now I've just refilled it with just whiskey now, because I didn't want to get back up.
It's getting tiring.
That's fair. You guys have been pre-gaming for a
What
while.
are you sipping?
No.
I have a
Well,
tequila
we're supposed
soda.
to start at
It looks
3.
like water.
It's water. She's lying.
It's tequila soda. I'm not that vanilla.
She's never
Bonifay.
actually drank on the air, guys. It's all lies.
She's just been lying to you this entire time. The hard kombuchas, that was a lie.
Theater booze.
Theater booze.
Oh my goodness. Okay, guys. So, are you guys ready for this horror movies what ifs?
I'm fucking ready.
You're ready?
Ready.
Ready? Okay, so I'll ask you first.
Okay.
And
Is there going to be like a really crazy scream sound right there? Like,
I mean, you guys are allowed to.
and then we go into
Do
it.
our own sound effects and
Yeah,
shit?
I appreciate it. Please.
It just
set the
felt
scene
like
better.
there should have been a big
All right.
scream right
Yeah.
there. There we go.
Oh my God, that was good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That was good.
Oh, thank you. I've been watching some movies. All right. In the 1998 film directed by Robert Rodriguez, The Faculty, Casey Connor, a Harrington High School newspaper photographer, witnesses the murder of a nurse and sees her alive again. He decides to investigate the bizarre happenings. And this cast is bonkers, you guys, because they had Jordana Brewster, Josh Hartnett, Selma Hayek, Famke Janssen. Who knew Jean Grey could do more with her powers? And Usher, baby. Yeah, let it burn. In a scene called The Hostile Takeover, where two students are hiding while looking in on some faculty doing my girl Selma Hayek. They're doing her dirty by infecting her with their multiplying parasite. One student tries to help while the other stops them from being discovered to ultimately make too much noise and get discovered anyway. You hate to see it. They also find another deceased body in that closet, which seals the deal, and they are in trouble. So JP, which one of you from those two friends would A, try to intervene, and B, or stop your friend from getting you discovered / ousted? Who do you think Bonifay would be?
Bonifay would stop me from getting discovered.
All right. How about you, Bonifay?
Whatever would involve trying to avoid it becoming a bigger problem and trying to make it a bigger problem, I would be the one trying to avoid it becoming the bigger problem.
You would be the one, shut the fuck up, JP.
JP would be like, what are we doing?
What? No.
What the fuck are they doing to her, man? She's fucking hot. Like, leave her alone.
Oh my God, I can't wait to ask you guys the following question, because you know
those girls, the principal, I think, I haven't seen it in a
That's
while.
like
The
the
teachers,
great-
they're all hot, and they kind of hit on the students because they're actually aliens. or whatever.
and they don't
JP
know.
would.
There's some scenarios there, I'll tell you.
Yeah, he'd be distracted.
Yeah,
Let's just say that.
I'd be distracted. I'd be like, I think I can handle both. Like,
I can do it. Well, there's that scene where, the big reveal, the big plot twist. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, I don't know what you're waiting for, where it ends up being one of the new student who's like the alpha
one that's doing it,
alien.
Right.
And so, like, I almost asked you guys, like, how would you handle the locker room scene where she's walking and being like, you can be like us and feel no pain and be naked in this locker room.
I feel like you have to censor a lot of this episode if we started answering that question.
I know, that's what I was like, I won't ask that question. But yeah, okay. I love that you guys are more in sync than I thought you were. Okay, guys, here's one. In 2003, House of a Thousand Corpses, directed by Rob Zombie. And let me set the scene for those who have never seen this flick, which, again, what are we waiting for, guys? Two young couples traveling across the backwoods of Texas searching for urban legends of murder end up as prisoners of a bizarre and sadistic backwater family of serial killers. Also, what is it about Texas, you guys?
Rugsville.
Why?
Rugsville.
Like, why?
Rugsville Patriots.
just thought,
Go.
anything goes in Texas.
Apparently.
You can own a lion in Texas.
Well, it
Can
is
you
an
really?
homage to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so they kind of had to set it there.
exactly.
Okay, so as you guys know, you guys obviously know the story about Ed Gein, how he committed his murders in Plainfield, Wisconsin, but it instilled, like you guys said, inspired the making of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Partly.
Partly, right? That took place in Texas. Well, that also reminds me of the real life murders that happened in Waco, Texas back in 1982. I don't know if you guys heard of that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. And then I was like, well, how many more crazy murders have happened in Texas? And the list was abundant.
My Henry Lee Lucas letter out there. He was in Texas.
He was Texas. Yeah,
Yeah, they
that's
went
true.
from Florida. Him and Otis Toole went from Florida to Texas.
is it
And then,
about
like, the most prolific serial killer in the world, the black guy that they caught a couple years ago, Sam Little, I think was his last name, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
He was in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, he killed like a
A lot of land to
people.
cover in Texas. Probably easier
lot
to
of people.
hide out there, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
I will
A lot
say
of
this.
liberty.
Yeah.
You get away with a lot. but
Yeah,
there's
that's it.
More liberty, more danger.
More danger.
the Wild West.
That's the politics of California. Less liberty, more safety.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly.
This is why certain people have moved to Texas.
Despite
Yeah,
being
exactly.
prolific,
Exactly.
there's been more serial killers in California than Texas. So
It's
just saying.
Just saying.
Where are the statistics on that?
Definitely Cali's
Yeah,
big
we're bad.
numbers on
Okay.
serial killers. Big numbers.
Somebody out there
For sure.
prove this for us.
For sure.
But yeah, so the list, some of the, last year we covered the butcher of Elmendorf. Have you guys heard of him? Joe Ball.
I know Joe Ball. I didn't know the.
I love
Elmendorf
his
thing,
story
but
is
I know the
wild
Joe Ball
because he
story.
was like killing. I mean, sorry, women, but he was killing women and he was feeding them to his gators.
Yeah, the Gators. Yeah, they walked it. Didn't he kill himself? They walk in.
Mm-hmm.
He ran like a gator farm kind of place or something.
Yeah,
right?
like
a
come
tourist
to my
spot.
gator farm.
So they finally like hone in on him, They walk in and they're like, hey, Detective so-and-so, we want to talk to you. And this motherfucker kills himself.
Yeah.
Like right there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just
You're
as like,
fuck it.
I'm done. And like, blows. I think he killed himself.
He seals
if I
the
remember.
deal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He seals the
Don't
deal.
quote me on it. It's been a while since I read the story, but I think that's right.
But yeah, and so that's how guilty the man was. He was so guilty. Did you guys ever hear about the railroad killer Angel Marturino Resendez? He was Latino, yes. The Angel of Death, Janine Jones. And apparently this lady, she's actually really interesting in the sense that she worked at a bunch of what is it called? Where you work with a bunch of babies that are just born and it's like the NICU.
A nurse?
Yeah, but you work with the post-pregnancy. Whatever department that is. I don't have kids,
know.
clearly.
You're asking the wrong people.
Well, none of us have kids, clearly.
Is that
When you're just over it, you're like, well, I've had the kid and it doesn't look good from here.
No. Well, apparently this lady would be this nurse in this ward area or whatever.
Yeah, post-mortem.
These kids were dying like crazy. A bunch of babies were dying.
That's the dead babies.
But she didn't get
Dead baby.
She didn't get caught, guys, until 2017.
Damn.
So she went on for like
No,
Oh, was
yeah,
this the
you get
lady
away
that
with
was
it,
like
man.
poisoning the
the
people and
babies,
killing them?
the babies.
Yeah. I remember.
I
didn't know her
that.
name, but I
She
remember.
would like muscle relaxing them to death.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know who you're
Well,
talking
if you're
about.
going to go.
I'm like, what is
I didn't
happening?
remember her name. Yeah.
I will
Sounds
say this. It was
relaxing.
last year I was driving from Austin to Dallas, and they're like, let's take the back roads. And I got to see a Buc-ee's for the first time. That was pretty
Oh, yeah.
cool.
I actually went to a Buc-ee's for the first time recently, believe it or not, and I'm from the South.
Oh, my God.
Well, we didn't have those in
Yeah,
Georgia.
they're new now, right? Or something?
I mean, not when
well,
I lived in
was
Georgia.
in
we
Florida.
didn't have
I was in
them.
Florida. We
Right.
drove down to Florida, but I've been driving down to Florida since ever, too.
No, I don't
and they're
remember ever
like,
seeing
oh, yeah,
one in
Buc-ee's.
Florida
You never
either.
been to Buc-ee's? I'm like, what? What the fuck is a Buc-ee's?
We had Whataburger in Georgia.
Whataburger.
Yeah.
We had that.
Yeah.
I can finally say I know what that is.
But Buc-ee's, yes, it's like an amusement park of gas stations.
It's
basically.
yeah, that's like the perfect
It's
description.
like a
Did I
thing.
derail you from House of a Thousand Corpses?
No,
Or-
no,
Yeah, was there a
no.
question
Okay.
there? Or did we miss it?
We've just gone on a tangent.
Oh, that's fine.
That's okay.
I just wanna
I'd like
make
to
sure-
say a few more
I'll
things
bear
about faculty if
responsibility.
you want.
We'll come back.
He
But
just wants to talk about Selma Hayek.
he just wants to go back to like
No,
that thing
just-
going in her ear. Like
I hadn't seen
this
it
is
in a
what I
while, and you
imagined.
recapping it, I remember my biggest beef with the movie or
Okay.
the story itself.
Lay it on us.
The fact that
When
it's
they all
science
have
fiction.
to do, they realize the drug hurts the, because that dude used to sell chopped up Adderall and some other
Yeah.
fucking bath products. I
In
don't
the
know.
pen.
Yeah, and they used to snort it to get off, and he finds out that drug hurts the aliens,
Yeah.
right? So he forces everyone in the room to snort the shit.
Yes.
And that, the chick
The
that,
queen bee.
yeah, the queen bee is the one that wouldn't snort it, but she was like, oh, I just,
I'm allergic.
And dude, I'm old. I'd be like, nope.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been done right there.
Yeah.
I'd be like, we don't trust her. She's
Shut
going
it
out.
down.
Yeah, shut it down.
But
And
do
she
you
survives
remember?
like another
But
45
it wasn't
minutes.
just her though. It was her and the other girl who had already been poisoned. And so all the attention was diverted when she was like, "Oh, I can't," and then the other girl's like, "I can't," and then the other girl, they both go to do it at the same time, and then the other girl doesn't do it when the queen bee
Right.
does.
Oh, she does fake it.
She fakes it.
Yeah,
Yeah. She
that's
goes,
true.
throws it out, the coyote ugly
I
shit.
would have watched everyone do that, like,
You're like-
strongly.
Yeah, you pixie
Like,
stick it.
we're all
You like put
snorting
it in the
this.
thing and then blow it up their nose.
Do it for them.
Fuck that. Or Stevie Nicks it if we have to.
Okay.
House of a Thousand.
But
Sorry.
yeah, but now back to these impossible scenarios. Okay, in House of a Thousand Corpses, there is a scene called a Baby Firefly's Guessing Game, where, as you guessed it, some fucked up shit happens where Baby, Rob Zombie's wife, Sherry, is giving a haircut and eventually scalps the man. So she tells her victim, "Please be quiet. I don't want to slip." And everybody thought that was so cute. But before this fate, she asks him, "Who's my favorite movie star?" And then she says, "If you get this wrong, you are fucked." You guys remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I do.
Of course
I have a prop from that movie. Over
Yeah,
there.
we're big fans of that
There's a
movie.
skull from Dr. Satan's lair.
I'll
Oh
have
my
to
God.
get some
right,
footage of
yeah.
this. So then, as you guys know, the guy says Marilyn Monroe, and she's like, "Nope, it's Betty Davis." Uh-oh, we all know what came next. So, JP, if Bonifay was the man in that chair and Baby walked in with those same scissors and that same razor, what would Bonifay do? A, wiggle around in his chair to break free from the duct tape. B, wait until baby sat on his lap to ask the question and then maybe headbutt her in hopes of knocking her out. C, try to seduce her and convince his way into the family, maybe, until he is trusted enough to run freely away. D...
D, okay.
These keep going. D, fake pass out and rush her to escape the room. Or lastly, E, yeah, Bet Davis. Or F.
Wait, what? What was that?
What happened?
And
Did you
lastly,
just have an attack?
Did you just have an
of some
aneurysm?
sort?
And lastly,
Yeah, but Davis.
yeah, Bet Davis.
Wow.
Yeah, Bet Davis. You guys are fools. Or, just baby could torture me any day.
I would say
Bonifay.
Bonifay would probably immediately fight back. Maybe not try to get in with the family. I don't know. I don't see you being like, let her sit on my lap and I'll flirt with her.
You don't think I'd let Sherry Moon sit on my lap
Well-
25 years ago? Yeah.
This
Not if
friendship-
you knew what the deal was happening, though.
The friendship is now in question here.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say A or B. Those are, or maybe a combination of the both. Can I say that?
Sure. And for JP, Bonifay?
There was a lot of options.
I know.
I know seduction.
It ran away.
So
There was seduction.
wiggle around and try to break free.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seduction.
And then C is like
Yes, I'm
try to
assuming
get in
you
with the
meant-
family.
Try to get in with the family.
And then turn on them when, which I could see myself doing.
I think.
Don't influence the answer,
I feel like he
John
would try to
Pauly.
talk his way out of it, but it would be half indiscernible what was happening. But this also depends on how late into the evening it is, right? Like how much weed and alcohol has been consumed.
That's
if
true.
this
If
was
they catch
like
me on a Saturday
if this
night.
was like Saturday night 1 a.m.,
He's going to try to seduce her.
he would confuse her into releasing him.
Yeah, I probably would. I'd be
He would
confused too,
fry
but
her
somehow
brain.
I would
She'd be like,
I just smoke her the fuck out.
You just
and then I'll be like,
hotbox
I'm
her
out.
into freedom. Yeah, he would hotbox his way to freedom.
Okay, what if this is a Friday morning?
Yeah, he'd just be dead. She'd kill
Yeah,
him.
I'd be hopped up on coffee.
Whatever
I
he
don't know.
did, it would fail and he would die.
I would probably be distracted by her beauty.
That's
and
it.
fuck
You'd
up her.
clam up. That's what it'd be.
Clam
He'd be
up.
like,
I wouldn't follow through. Yeah, I'd hesitate to save myself
He
and
would.
then get murdered.
All right. That's okay. That's okay. I don't think I would.
Run, rabbit! Run, rabbit! I wouldn't run though.
What about running? I always think
In
of
place?
like, not in place, but what do they say? Like when you're running away from danger, you got to run in a zigzag to confuse everybody.
I think that's it, if the person has a gun.
Oh, yeah, never mind. You guys, I
I think
went
you're right.
I went down a rabbit hole just trying to figure out like these scenarios, and apparently that Betty Davis person that she mentions was in a horror movie, a famous jazz musician, and Rob was inspired by this, which is why he named her baby in the first place.
Betty Davis was Miles Davis's wife, and yeah, she's like the
And
queen
her
of
stuff
funk.
was very
She's awesome.
sensual, and
Yeah,
I love Betty Davis.
Yeah, her first
was
album
cool.
was like strong.
I'm so excited that I like figured this out just yesterday
that's
because
cool.
now I'm like, cool, I'm turned on to more music.
Wow.
Yeah. In 1996, Scream, directed by Wes Craven, a year after the murder of her mother, a teenage girl is terrorized by a new killer who targets her and her friends by using horror films as part of a deadly game. You know how everyone is trying harder these days to be more self-aware? It's like the cool thing to be self-aware. Well, Scream was like, hold my beer, because Scream was never patronizing of other movies out there while still drawing comparisons, all while displaying a strong sense of ironic self-awareness. So John Paul,
Don't hang up on me, bitch.
if Bonifay was stuck and sent to the garage for more beers for the party like Rose McGowan,
Rose.
and turned from the refrigerator to see Ghostface at the door of the room, how do you think he would respond? Would he A, grab the hanging bike and throw it at him along with anything in sight? B, grab the broken glass shards to use as a weapon against Ghostface himself? C, rush Ghostface and hopefully land through the door? Or D, try to unmask Ghostface in hopes to confirm it was a friend before violence?
I'm gonna go with E. He probably wouldn't realize he was there to murder him, and Bonifay would just smirk and laugh and walk past him.
He wouldn't there would be no
He
drama.
wouldn't realize there's like a danger situation happening.
Oh, I forgot an option.
He'd just be like, "Cool mask." Whatever.
That's true.
He's like the option that didn't exist.
Probably right.
The least climactic option.
Well, I mean, there's like 50 masks everywhere where I am all
Right.
the time.
That's what I mean.
There's
Like-
always people in masks.
Yeah.
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 And to like sneak up on somebody with a mask and scare him is not out of our wheelhouse.
No, it's definitely not. Oh, there's stories people could tell.
Bonifay. What would JP do in this scenario?
If Rose McGowan walked in, or if the
Nah,
if,
if you
were
were
Rose
Rose
McGowan,
McGowan.
basically. If I was Rose
if
McGowan.
he was Rose McGowan,
Yes.
Right.
he'd be fighting me off of him because I'd be trying to fuck him.
You're not there.
Sure.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know what fantasy we just took a left into.
Well, you're all of a sudden Rose McGowan in '96,
And I would give it up. If I was Rose, I'd understand.
'96.
I know, yeah, she was.
But also,
Come
like,
on.
is it going to be
Even
like
Rodriguez
JP's?
couldn't help himself.
I know.
Hold on. JP's face on Rose McGowan's face would be like, yeah.
Wait, I don't want to imagine
This
a merger.
this beard right here, this luxurious beard on Rose.
Oh, God.
Or JP on her body.
Oh, God.
Okay.
This took a weird turn.
Yeah, yes.
So,
I had to bring them back,
what
you
would
guys. Anything.
What do I think JP would do if he were? Yeah, I similarly, I don't think you'd be scared. Like, I think you'd be like, "Whoa, nice mask!"
Right, I would
and
think
then,
it's a
like,
thing.
walk by and leave the garage.
So you'd never get
I think that
stabbed
would be
out
the deal,
there.
yeah.
would engage.
Yeah.
You'd never be like, I want to be in the sequel.
No, our reactions would be pretty
We just
similar.
be like, just like that's standard shit, and we're
both
we're
too
cool
used
with
to people being in masks trying to scare people.
See, and that's why I went back to they lived a few lifetimes
It's
being
usually
OG
us
ghouls.
together doing that to people. So we might or might not have done home invasions in masks
Yeah,
before. So
Who I have on my show today? I'm learning a lot more.
It was
than-
people we know and care about. If that
they
makes
didn't
it
know
better.
we were coming.
Yeah, they didn't know.
And we
were
did
coming.
not have legal permission.
Jesus
but
Christ! None of this does not
Didn't know.
sound
statute of
incriminating.
limitations has run.
That was early on when we met,
That was.
and they introduced us.
Yeah, and after
got
like
us
maybe
drunk, and it was like well,
11 or
this is-
12 hours of drinking. as
Yeah,
well.
but of course they'd been asleep for a while. This is a horrible story.
Wow.
And that's how we
Guys,
met.
good.
Say toxic sips 5 times.
sips.
Say it.
Toxic sips, toxic sips, toxic sips, toxic sips, toxic sips.
Oh, yeah, it's not that
toxic
hard. I
sips.
thought that'd be way more difficult than that was.
No, we're not drunk.
I had to give a look to the camera for those that are just listening.
Oh, we're not drunk. Listen, we're not fucking drunk.
Whoa! All right,
But
guys.
we're getting there.
Give us a minute. Goddamn.
Are we centered?
Yeah.
Okay.
Always.
Always. Another underrated movie that has people pretty torn down the middle.
Hang on a second. Are you saying that Scream and
Another
House of a Thousand
underrated?
Corpses are underrated?
Yeah, come
I
on.
think
now.
they're pretty accurately rated as two of the greatest
I
horror
think
movies.
you guys
of all time.
are assuming that I'm saying that.
You said underrated. I didn't assume it.
I said
You said
another
another
underrated.
underrated.
That doesn't mean that the
That
It
implies,
implies that the others
prior
are underrated.
reference films are underrated.
I'm just saying. No, I'm just fine. Go on.
Okay. And underrated movie that has people pretty torn. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like how we both
We're-
immediately
You were like,
jumped on
whoa!
that
I did.
simultaneously.
Come on.
We're
I
like,
was
wait,
like,
what?
Whoa. Get out. Bonifay's like, never. Just the studio, this setup is mine now. Get out of my studio. Okay. And other underrated. Is that better? God damn it.
It's literally the same thing you said the first time.
And other. Okay. An underrated movie that has people pretty torn down the middle is 2011's The Cabin in the Woods, directed by Drew Goddard.
It's a fair statement.
This movie looked a little something like this. 5 friends go for a break at a remote cabin where they get more than they bargained for, discovering the truth behind the cabin in the woods. Okay, I see that doesn't say much, but really, who goes to some random cabin in the woods? Oh, wait, it's called Airbnb. But also, this was shot before Thor came out as Thor, so that's kind of interesting. 'Cause, wait, you guys aren't Marvel people at all.
I've seen
No.
Thor. I saw the first one.
I have seen Thor. I like Thor.
It was
Thor's
funny. I liked when he threw the coffee cup. He's like, I'll have another.
Yeah.
I was like, this is.
I like Thor and Iron Man.
It had levity.
Because they're like funny.
Iron Man was good.
Yeah, it's like a comedic thing.
And I liked Logan. That was
because that was dark.
movie.
Yeah, that was badass.
Logan was great. Hey, tangent time.
Sorry.
No. What do you guys think about him coming back as Logan?
I don't care.
You don't care.
I
that
could give
he's-
it
I
any
don't care
shit.
that much.
How much do you think they paid him for this?
A lot.
He was big
An
overtired.
enormous amount of money.
I'm sure.
Do you think he was running out of money?
No.
Ah.
He probably just thought it'd be fun, and Ryan Reynolds probably talked him into it. Ryan Reynolds is a pretty funny guy.
He's wildly charismatic.
I could probably talk you into some shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or he has some dirt on.
maybe.
Or
He's
it's blackmail.
I
He's
know
like, listen,
you're
we don't know.
cheating on your
Jackman,
wife.
unless you want me to go talk about some shit that I've seen.
People want Logan back. So sorry, I know you're old.
All right, bring him back. Bring him back.
I thought Logan was
I don't
great,
care.
man. It's great.
I mean,
love
they're
Hugh
making all these
Jackman.
other
He's
comic
awesome.
book movies, and
Yeah,
might as
he's really
well.
good.
Yeah. I watched very few of those, but those are ones that I liked. I liked the first Deadpool. I thought it was pretty funny, but like once, and then I didn't care about anything
The other
after
ones.
that.
Yeah.
It's a road movie, I think, with Deadpool and Wolverine, like on the road, like a road trip.
Oh, that's fine.
I think that's what
That'll
it
be
is.
fun.
Don't quote me. I'm definitely
can't-
not the guy to have the.
I might watch that. I'll watch that before I watch the next like Avengers or whatever. Iron Man.
And the original,
Yeah.
the original
Robert
X-Men
Downey
movies
Jr. like owns
back
it.
in the day, like those were good. The
Yeah.
original X-Men.
I
ones,
miss those.
Oh yeah.
those
I
were
miss
good. With,
the OG Jean Grey.
yeah,
Yeah, she
Rebecca Romaine Stamos. And,
Yeah, those were fun.
was- Aw. R.I.P. Anyway, in a scene before this
Rebecca
movie gets
Romaine dead?
crazy. Wait, who?
What?
Wait,
Rebecca
what?
Romaine.
She's dead?
Alive? No, she said R.I.P. after I said Rebecca Romaine. Who's dead?
Did you think she was dead?
I was saying R.I.P.ing to the old X-Men
Oh,
franchise.
fair enough.
Yeah,
Touche
yeah.
to that. I was like, wait,
I
what?
was like, what?
No,
No!
we don't like it when pretty ladies die.
And Jess gets the last scare on Toxic Sips Halloween.
That is
You
nicely
should
done.
fucking
She
put
scared the
that-
shit out of us.
Looks at the camera. All right, guys. In a scene before it gets really crazy in the cabin of the woods, the cellar door flings itself open, so the group goes down to investigate what it is. They find an odd assortment of relics and curious oddities out down there, and so Dana reads from a book. She awakens a family of dead zombie killers. Yikes! So if you and Bonifay were down in the cellar, what would be the first thing that Bonifay would pick up? And so here are a few of the options that were in the film itself. An old projector with film in it, a necklace near an old wedding dress, a conch shell, a music box, or a puzzle, or lastly, a diary.
What was the question again, though?
You guys are
Literally, what she just repeated.
what would
Weed, kids, stay off weed. Don't
No,
do
but, like,
drugs are bad. Okay.
What was the setup? I mean,
You're down in the cellar, like in Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, okay.
And it's just you two. But Bonifay's the one that picks up your demise. What is your demise? An old projector with film, a necklace near an old wedding dress, a conch shell, a music box, a puzzle, or a diary.
While he thinks about this, I
What
want
would
to say,
JP pick?
I want to say
I'm going
R.I.P.
with
to
A.
Ted White today from Friday the 13th. Final chapter. He passed away today.
yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. No, I did not.
Ted
know
White,
that. That's
Jason
terrible.
Voorhees, final chapter.
Oh, no.
96 years old. Long, nice life. I'm just trying to give you time to think about
Well, yeah,
this.
no, I'm.
While
I'm-
also-
You've
So
given him new
That's fine.
information to.
I'm going. Yeah, I'm going with A though, or D, or wherever you started.
You just picked
The
a
first
letter.
one.
You don't even
So
know.
you're saying that he would pick an old projector with film.
Yep.
I would pick up none of those fucking
I know
things.
none of them are good. That's why I was
Yeah.
having trouble, and I was like, "Wait, I don't understand
you
the
guys don't
question."
know
And
you're
I
in
was
the
like, "Wait,
cellar, but
what?"
you
I
don't
would pick up
know.
none of those things.
Yeah,
Ever.
for to like.
Yeah.
You don't, yeah.
Wouldn't happen.
Or would JP pick up? Because you know he'd be touching shit.
He would. Yeah, he would. He would.
He
Break
would pick
some,
something
he would
up
break
and
some
start,
stuff.
yeah.
I don't know if
We
he.
love
Yeah,
you.
he'd break some things.
I don't know.
Again, depends on how late it is and what day of the week it is.
Right.
I mean, you guys, it's okay. So let's just assume the latter. Let's assume you guys are on vacation in this random cabin in the woods, and you know what? You have been in a cabin in the woods,
We have.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Several times.
and so there's a cellar in this one, and you guys are down there
Right.
looking at weird shit. What would JP grab? Because he so would.
Anything that looks like it could have drugs inside of it, like a box of any sort.
Okay,
You would pick that up.
the music box would be probably his choice.
If there was something that could have maybe like old Playboys or something, like a box that could have like porn mags.
Porn mag.
Like that could be an option.
Ghostly porn.
Yeah, ghostly.
Ooh,
Yeah.
meow. I'm gonna just say
Nothing on that list.
I would venture to say that we wouldn't hang out in the basement. We've seen enough fucking movies that we'd go down there and be like, cool, and then we go back upstairs
you say
and be
that,
like, we'll leave
but
that
I
to
don't
that.
think so. I think curiosity would kill the cat because you've seen so many.
No, we
horror
would
movies.
survive. Nah.
Well, no, we just like, okay, that's happening, and then we just leave it alone.
Do you guys want to
We
know?
spent a whole night talking about building a fire one time and wouldn't go outside to get the goddamn wood.
Wow.
That's
because
true.
it was dark. And the woods.
It was dark, windy, and we were really, really high. So there was that,
like paranoid high.
Yeah,
It was
like I
intense.
rarely
We
smoke
yeah.
weed. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
and he had a joint that had wax on it.
Oh no!
I didn't know what the fuck it was.
Oh
It
no!
was a retrospect bad
you sent
idea.
him to Mars.
Yeah, so I was on.
I was on Mars with them.
We were both on Mars, and we were alone at a house in the woods in the mountains, and it was windy outside, and so we kept hearing big bangs.
We heard a
because the
noise.
chairs
We're
were
like, what the
blowing
fuck is
over on the deck, but we didn't know at the
my
time.
God. Right, so you're extra paranoid.
And
You
we
feel
were
like
watching the 2009 Marcus Nispel remake of Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
It was the first time a horror movie ever scared me in my entire life.
I don't think it was so much the movie. Just
No, I'd
like
seen the movie
tone
like
in the
15 times
room,
already,
and
but-
then
Yeah, but in
happens.
that scenario, in
I
that
was high and
situation,
paranoid.
it was perfect. Oh
was
my
pretty
I was
funny.
feeling a lot of
goodness.
anxiety.
It was pretty.
Were you
funny.
near the lake at all?
We were at Lake Arrowhead.
It wasn't lake front or anything.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like
It was mountaintop.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have got anyone up there.
But
Anyone
I had
could've even got you
we
guys.
had rights to the lake. which
Yeah, it
was
wasn't illegal. We were allowed to be there. It was
Okay.
not one of our massed home invasion adventures.
Where you guys were mass home invasioning.
Yes.
Although Kathleen tried to get us back while we were up there. Remember that? When
Oh,
she
yeah.
had the mask and it was a good attempt.
We're not
but it
easy
wasn't
to
that
get.
good.
We're hard to get. Yeah. That's why I say the Scream thing, we would both
Yeah.
have done the same thing.
Like,
Because when
Right.
people try to scare us, it's like, that was cute.
Aw. Challenge. Wait, no.
Even going through like a haunted house, I'm just like grinning ear. I'm just like, look at that cool prop. I'm like disregarding the.
like more excited to be there
Yeah,
than
it's
actually
fun.
like,
Like
yeah, that's how
looking
I
for
am.
fear.
I'm looking at all the shit.
I don't anticipate being scared. If someone happens to get a good jump scare on me,
Yeah. It's like
kudos, and I'm proud of them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to do.
All right. So the old projector would have gave you some evil twins. So in a,
We
oh,
would've
I
had
see where you're
babies?
going with this. Then okay.
yeah, the necklace would have gave you guys like a bride. So these are homages to different films, right?
Right.
So a dead bride. The conch shell would have gave you a killer merman. The music box would have gave you a Langoliers ballerina, sugar plum fairy. So it's the one that. The puzzle would have gave you a lament configuration. So it'd be Hal Lord. It'd be like Pinhead's cousin or something.
Yeah.
And then the diary gave you zombies, which happens in the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you guys survived.
Oh, we would definitely survive.
I feel like none of these, except for maybe one of them, was like, "Ugh!" But for the most part, I think you guys just like, I'm just going to walk past it. I'm not going to grab anything. I'm not going to try to seduce her or nothing like that.
I might would have tried to seduce, maybe. Yeah.
I was hoping one of you would try to be like, oh.
But like more
Maybe, like-
intellectually. Like I
maybe-
would have tried to intellectually seduce her. Like
Yeah,
talk her
that's-
into believing that
Right.
like it was better to follow me than who she was currently following. Like I would have essentially tried to convert her into my cult as opposed to theirs, I think. I
hope,
still would have probably tried to fuck her later
sure.
as a cult member.
Leader?
I would have been the leader.
Yeah.
Created this whole.
He's like, I've had time to think about this.
First of all, I'm creating a cult now.
I mean, dude, you gotta, if you want to escape an extreme situation, right? Extreme conditions demand extreme responses. Best Brutal Truth album ever. Solid grindcore.
There you go.
Right.
Good plug.
Obviously, you're very well versed with horror films because your answers were, well, everyone else would have answered horrendously.
I think
I'm
we
sure.
were
And
non-conforming.
I think you guys were very much like, no, I don't like these options. I don't want to die. So that's cool. I understand both of you are from Georgia. You guys grew up relishing in all the things that are spooky and Halloween and everything that comes with it. Today, both of you work in your own ways in the film industry, which is a long way from your origins as Southern town boys, if you will. At what point did your paths cross, like in real life, not in horror movie life? And when did your love for Halloween begin?
Well, we met in California, actually.
Yeah, in Hollywood.
Yeah.
In Hollywood.
In Hollywood.
Non-professionally.
Ooh, what is
Non-professionally.
Grinder.
Yes.
No, not Grinder.
Grinder.
No, his
it was
On
Halloween
an
though, so
Grinder on Halloween. His ex-girlfriend was one of my neighbors in my old apartment.
Right.
And she was like, "Oh, you have to meet my boyfriend. He's also a bald redneck from Georgia. You guys will love each other."
Basically.
Just like that, yeah.
That's literally how she pitched it.
I didn't want to say it myself earlier, but that's why I was like, I appreciate the differentiation between the beanie and non-beanie. Just saying.
Okay.
Yes, that's how we met. What was that, probably like 10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago, something like that?
Yeah.
About a decade.
Something like
ish.
that.
Decade-ish.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's hard to keep friends in the city, so it's really cool that you guys have remained friends for so long.
Yeah. Cheers.
So it's great. So at what point were you guys like, whoa? Did you guys ever live really? I mean, I've been to Georgia maybe once, Atlanta once. How far were you guys?
I grew up in Augusta, Georgia, which is about 2.5 hours from Atlanta.
Right.
He lived on the north side of Atlanta,
Right.
in a suburb.
Yeah.
I went to undergrad in Atlanta, so I actually lived there. We were both in Atlanta for an overlapping period of time. When did you leave to go to Florida?
2003.
Okay, so I moved to Atlanta in 99, and I left in 2005.
Yeah.
So we were there for 4 years at the same time. So we have a lot of scenarios where we were both at the same concert.
I love that. That's
But
crazy.
we never met. We never met in Georgia, though.
What?
Yeah.
It's wild.
And then for some reason, I thought you guys had met in Florida.
No.
Were you guys ever in Florida?
didn't. He lived in Orlando. I lived in Miami.
Oh.
So.
Okay. So
Yeah,
that's
one of us lived in a good city in Florida.
Florida's pretty flat.
And it wasn't JP. Orlando sucks.
Oh, that's sad.
I have cousins that live there. They seem to enjoy it. But I lived there, and I didn't really care for it. It's just, I don't know. Honestly, it just bothers me
It
that
doesn't
it's flat.
have a cultural.
Like,
all
for
of
some
Florida, the whole
reason,
state's
like,
flat.
it annoys me.
The whole state's like
I know,
that.
and it annoys the shit out of
The
me. for some
easiest
reason. I
state
need
for
a
bike
little
riding
hill or
anywhere in the
something.
United
It's
States.
Florida.
Yeah, because there's no hills.
Yeah.
I felt that way because we drove from one side of Tennessee to the other side, and I was like, "Oh, it's just flat the whole time."
You did not go to the other side because the entire
Tennessee's got the
east of
mountains and
Tennessee is
shit.
the Smoky Mountains.
We went from
That's
Memphis.
the Appalachian Trail.
The Appalachian Trail. Yes, I don't think we went that far. I think we were an hour and a half south of Nashville.
Oh, that's Central Tennessee.
Oh, dang it! Okay,
You didn't go to East Tennessee. East Tennessee is all mountains.
Yeah.
Smoky Mountains.
Okay, yeah. So I've only been from Memphis to I think it's I don't know.
Chattanooga.
I think that's what it's called.
That's still mountainy because that's kind of
Mountainy.
touching on
Mountainy.
the Appalachian Trail right there.
I saw
That's just straight north
hills.
from Atlanta.
I want to hit up the Appalachian Trail at some
East
point.
Tennessee, man, it's beautiful. Just go to the Tri-City area, Johnson City, Elizabeth, like that area. There, it's beautiful. There's waterfalls, mountains. It's amazing. My granny used to live there. My stepdad's from Tennessee, East Tennessee, and we would go, and she would have like baling twine with tons of empty milk jugs tied to it.
Oh my gosh.
So you throw them over your shoulder, and we would hike through tobacco fields up to the top. She lived on a mountain, but we would hike up to the top of the mountain, like where the springs started, like where the snow melt and stuff, like the streams, and just fill up the water jugs with water, and that was her fucking water.
Wow.
She
And
drank straight up stream water.
Fresh water right
But that's the freshest, yeah?
Yeah, I literally, you could bend down like you see in the movies
Yeah.
and like drink out of the stream.
there. Wow.
But we would hike up. There's tobacco fields everywhere. So you just hike up through the tobacco fields and find a stream and fill up jugs.
Oh my
Carry them back down.
gosh. What is like one of your first horror memories, wherever it is that it's the fondest?
She said horror.
Not horrors, not your first horror memory. I'm sure that was a horror memory together. I don't doubt it.
No, we have no shared horror memory. We're not that kind of friends.
I think the first memory I have that has to do with it is honestly the Michael Jackson Thriller video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was
actually
like the first, you know.
That might be mine too, actually.
Yeah, because I mean, just the
It's still considered number one in all the songs.
Oh,
all the
yeah.
videos for
it's awesome.
the genre.
But I think that's what got me started. Just seeing ghouls and zombies and shit.
That might be the first horror thing I remember seeing too. Because I mean, I was so young when that came out.
Right. Exactly. That's what I mean. So
that was like right around when we both started having memories.
Right. Exactly.
That was on TV all the time.
Oh, it makes sense.
So,
That's fair. Yeah. The 14 minutes of I think he only sang for like 2 whole minutes in there, but it was a 14-minute masterpiece.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant.
And Vincent Price was a part of it.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
And that was cool. I think it was that, and then also my family had HBO when I was younger, so I would like stay up late after everybody went to bed and watch late night HBO, and they always had like horror movies.
I was not so
a lot
lucky.
of B horror movies on. And
my
stuff.
stepdad would watch like old black and white movies, so I saw like really old black and white horror, like Universal Monsters kind of stuff. That was like some of the first stuff I remember. That didn't like really. I loved that stuff, but it didn't like trigger my.
It didn't cement it.
Texas Chainsaw is what got me like all the way in.
Yeah,
I was like 8 when I saw that. I was at my aunt's house up in Tennessee, actually, East Tennessee, and they all went to bed. I've always been since I was a kid. I've been kind of an insomniac. Like I don't sleep a lot, and I was up. I was the only one awake, and they had a bunch of movies around, and I saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I was just like, "What is this?" So I put it on and watched it by myself. You
watched the original
in
by
the middle
yourself?
of the night when I was 8.
Oh no!
And fucking thought it was the best shit I ever seen in my life, man.
You're like
changed my world.
grappling. It was grappling.
It didn't scare me at all, man. I was like, I fucking love it.
That's
they probably would
amazing.
institutionalize me now for that, I suppose.
As a
but
kid, I mean,
they're like, he's gonna be a good lawyer.
which is the craziest part because that says like that screams in volumes because it's like now people would be like, what's wrong with my kid? And then I mean, you turned out fine. You're a freaking lawyer. Like, come on now.
Depends on who you ask, but yeah.
You know what I mean?
Doesn't mean he's okay. That's
we should we're gonna have to get Julie from therapy with my mom in here. Do a little diagnosis.
You've seen American Psycho. Wasn't he like a lawyer?
My business cards are fucking awesome. Shut the fuck up, JP.
How does that scene even go? I remember them being so precise on every single detail. Like,
it's the card stock, the embossment, it's all the things. You know?
The plastic, the
that
smell,
shit matters.
the vanilla, the cream. Oh my goodness!
Bonifay is like that a little bit though. His cards are baller.
You know what I will say, right? Because they're
baller cards.
Baller cards.
I don't fuck
I've
around.
seen them. Really
they
is
have
good.
the rounded edges. They're not sharp. They won't cut you. They're nice and shiny.
Mine actually have razor blades in them. They will definitely cut you.
He's like, what cards are you looking at, ma'am? Those are.
The only option is to get cut. Like that's
This is the only way you can take my business. That's amazing.
They double as throwing stars.
What are things that you guys look forward to now in the horror, in just from like the horror genre, Halloween, like
Look
what
forward to?
Yeah.
That is an excellent hard question. Look forward to
a return to gratuitous nudity and chainsaws.
I don't know if women are into that. You don't like being murdered.
No, I'm just kidding.
I do want to see, like we were talking about earlier, I do want to see the next iconic slasher character in film.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
That hasn't
since
been a
one's
remake.
created. And I want to see that. It'll happen eventually. So I
feel
guess I'm looking
I feel
forward
like the
to
more
when-
recent, like Terrifier is like trying to push into that. Terrifier's trying to,
and Terrifier's
like
cool.
Art the Clown, like is trying to be that new, and it might happen. I
Right.
think we're still,
Yeah.
it's unclear yet, but the new one that just came out is like, people are really responding to it, you know, and it's the
Right.
character visually.
Yeah.
I think people really like a lot.
Yeah.
But
No,
it's
he
been a
looks
really, I'd say before that, oddly, was another clown. I'd say it was probably Captain Spaulding.
Yeah.
It was like the last great iconic horror character.
Yeah.
Like the visual, like the full visual kind of.
No, I agree.
You know, House of a Thousand Devils. I mean, Otis was great. Baby was great. They were all great. But like, as far as like a put it on a T-shirt kind of character with a makeup or a
memorable
mask,
icon.
Wish he
I would
has
say it
gone
was.
a long
I would say it was
way,
Captain
yeah.
Spaulding.
No, for sure.
But I agree.
Sure.
Been a
Waiting
while.
for that great
Yeah.
the new
Which will
Jason, the
happen
new Michael
eventually, I
Myers,
think.
whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Do you think though, because of you've had Freddy, you've had all of these guys that they're memorable faces and ghouls, if you will, that the moment that someone attempts to create a new character, it'll be received well, or do you think there's gonna be a lot of skepticism?
If they do it well. I mean, look, before there was Jason,
exactly.
Freddy, Michael Myers, Pinhead, or any of that, there was Frankenstein, there was Dracula, there was,
true.
Wolfman, there was Swamp Thing, there was Creature from the Black Lagoon. I mean, the list goes fucking on, man.
Yeah.
There's no limit to how many. We want more great characters. We want more great franchises. There's no sense of competition but in that sense. It's just that they have to actually be interesting.
Yeah.
And they have to be good, and they have to be aesthetically interesting, substantively interesting, and, I don't know. They just can't be lame. Like,
were a few that really just, they had a lot of substance, that they were complex, that stand out to you, that you're like, oh, this character, for sure, this is why this character was cemented in this genre. This is why he's so adored by so many people.
I mean, I won't answer for it, but I will say this. Complexity is not necessary to be a great slasher character. Most aren't complex, but there are a few that are. When you think about Jason, or you think about, Freddy's a little complex, I suppose.
He's complex, yeah.
But like Michael Myers is simple. Jason's simple. Like, they're pretty simple.
Yeah.
But I do love a good complex. But I mean, Pinhead's kind of complex. Anything Clive Barker, Candyman, Pinhead, Hellraiser, all that kind of stuff. And I know for the hardcore fans out there, I know his name's not really fucking Pinhead, but whatever. Short
come at me,
form,
bro.
don't start
Don't drag me on the
goddamn
internet.
messaging me dumb shit like I don't know about Hellraiser. But like, I don't know, man. It's that there has to be like a through line that makes sense, right? I mean, it's just, there's got to be something where it doesn't feel contrived and it just feels authentic. Whether that's complex or whether that's simple is really irrelevant, as long as it just feels authentic in some way.
Who are your top 5?
Oh shit!
All time, like all horror characters, or just slasher?
I'm just saying all time.
Just
that makes it a little bit more difficult.
But character is not necessarily the movie or whatever.
It could be the character, yeah.
But I mean, there's also like when you think about Dracula, a lot of people have played Dracula. So is it like which person's version of Dracula, or like the archetype of Dracula?
Yes, that one.
Oh,
I would probably say Dracula.
Dracula is definitely
Bela
gotta be on
Lugosi,
everybody's
Dracula. Norman Bates.
There's been several good Draculas. I mean, Bella's my dog's named after the man, so I'm with you.
Bella nailed it to the floor. But
Dracula
I
as an
accept
archetype,
Christopher
you gotta
Lee.
love.
I accept a few others, but I would say Dracula, Norman Bates.
Really, you got Norman's one of your favorites? Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, when he popped out with that dress
crazy,
afterwards,
man.
like, what's up?
And just conversations he has and stuff. He's wild. I was obsessed with the sequels. Like
The Birds was a big one for me.
The offbeat sequels.
Birds was huge. Like Alfred Hitchcock's Birds was an early
and Psycho.
big favorite
Psycho
of mine.
was like my huge thing. But also
So
like
who are your
the
top
sequels.
5? Don't be getting all
You guys are-
stoner,
ooh.
distracted.
Anyway, sorry, Norman Bates and
It wasn't the Flash.
I
given
mean
how long
Michael
this is
Myers.
taking.
I love Michael Myers. Sorry. It's hard. I love Michael Myers.
I'll do a time speed up. In
Honestly,
editing.
growing up and stuff, I don't watch it as often now, and I feel like I watch the others more now. But like, is Freddy? I mean, that was a special place in my heart.
There's something just like I love sleep. This morning I had a hard time. I was like, I'm gonna get up and go to the gym. Did not, because sleep was more important. And so as soon as you fuck with that, it's like not cool, bro.
I don't sleep a lot, so Freddie, he would have very limited windows to get me.
He's always busy. Their schedules just conflict.
He like loses focus for 5 minutes. He's like, "Damn it, another night."
He's like,
gone.
Bonifay didn't have enough time to jump into his REM. I can't get in there.
What is that for?
That's 4.
And then I would have to. God, I'm leaving so many. Like it's.
I know it's so hard. It's like when you go to karaoke.
Like I think
like, I
I
don't
feel
know what
like
to say.
even though it's more fun to watch these other characters, maybe I have to throw in what's his face from Silence of the Lambs. I don't know.
Ooh,
Which one,
Hannibal?
Buffalo Bill or Hannibal
Oh,
Lecter?
yeah, which one?
Hannibal Lecter. I mean, I like Buffalo Bill too, but
I'd fuck me.
yeah, he creeped me out when I first watched that movie. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm a little unsettled.
That's another Ed Gein reference.
Like,
Oh, that one, yes.
He was also inspired by Ed
Yes.
Gein.
Yeah, he did a good job.
And then Ted Bundy helped the
Whoever that
FBI
actor was.
or offered to, and that was part of the inspiration
Is that
for
really?
Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Was Ted Bundy.
Holy
Yeah.
crap. I
Ed
guess
Kemper
that makes
also helped the FBI. Both did.
What?
But yeah, Ted Bundy was the inspiration for that.
Ted Bundy's so
So that was my long-winded answer. Go, Bonifay.
Go, Bonifay.
Top 5 for me.
Go. Boom, 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 boom.
It's hard.
Jason Voorhees is my number.
I know, I
he's-
wanted to put
Jason's
Jason
my
in
shit.
there, but-
I love Jason. Captain Spaulding for sure.
I know. I
Fucking
love Spaulding,
badass.
too.
I love Dracula for sure.
He was-
All the various iterations of Dracula sans any sparkling vampire bullshit, which
Oh
is
my God.
excluded
Yeah.
expressly from my list. I mean, I love Otis too. I like Bill Mosley's
Yeah.
Otis.
Otis is great
fucking
too. Yeah.
amazing.
And so is Chop Top.
yeah,
And
for sure.
Texas too.
For
I
sure.
mean, yeah. Bill Mosley's awesome in both those characters.
Yeah, and I'd say I'm Michael Myers, man. I love Michael
Yeah.
Myers. Yeah. I think I did 5 there.
I think you went over
I just
5,
kept
actually.
going.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Like,
that's
actually, I
that's
love
Pinhead's
them
pretty
all.
solid. I mean, I'm just gonna keep
I like
saying
Pinhead
people.
too. I like all
stop
those
me,
people.
woman.
Pumpkinhead's fun.
Top 5's are rough.
Throwing Pumpkinhead out there.
Pumpkinhead's fun.
consideration.
Yeah. I just was talking
know?
about that earlier.
Oh my goodness. What do you do that's different as opposed to the rest of the year? In
He,
the month of
he
Oh, yeah,
wears
I
a
wa-
mask to the jerk shack.
I go
in
like
October.
hyper
That's what it
level. I go hyper level. Watch horror movies, especially the ones I own. Like revisit all my favorites, and then I try to find a reason to wear a costume that year. It doesn't always go down that way.
is. To the
but-
massage parlor.
Well, that's how it ends. Nothing else. You know,
I respect
pans out.
Happy
the
endings in
effort.
October.
Oh, are you guys going to have a rager this month?
I don't know if I got. I don't know.
I know your neighbor, your Brazilian neighbor, is a hoot.
I know. Yeah. I mean, he's thinking of something. Yes, but I
sounded
don't know if it's.
racist
I don't
when
know
you
if it's
said that.
on.
Well, it sounded racist when I said that.
The way you said it, I just
I know.
sounded discriminatory.
I'm a brown lady. I'm Mexican
I'm
American.
a brown lady.
I can't be racist. I'm just going to throw that out there. All right, Bonifay, how about you? What are you doing this after he slandered
October
me?
Murder. This is the
Murder.
murder
Murder.
month.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
that is
This is the month
murder
where I
too.
kill.
I just murder people.
But
This
see,
is the month where I kill.
Don't you?
I didn't mention that because I do that all year round. So.
Oh.
Yeah, he's more hardcore than me. you
He's
know.
Bonifay. He's calling you a poser.
He is. I only kill 1 month a year, but I do it in a more ornate, expensive manner. So I have to save up.
Right.
Like he
That's
does
fair.
it like fucking.
Sloppy style.
Yeah, he just goes raw. You know, like
Bonifay's
it lacks.
creating
It lacks class. The way he does it is not classy.
If we did murder people, that would be our style.
Oh my god!
I just do it to get the job done,
I'd
and
be all
Bonifay would make a
elitist
whole
about it.
thing about it. Like
He
it would
have
be like a
a suit,
it would be
the
well
gloves,
curated.
well lit. I mean, there would be money behind that. Yep,
That is absolutely what the deal would be.
A lot of planning.
a conveyor belt somewhere.
Conveyor
Why?
belts are good.
See,
Oh, man. I mean, I'd be OCD about not getting caught, but other than that, it'd just be like get the
you
job
would
done
be not just
quick, whatever.
OCD, JP. You would be paranoid as fuck.
I know. Well,
JP
paranoid
would
drives me
remember
into
doing
OCD
it.
drive.
He would wake up the next day and I'd be like, dude, you killed that bitch. He'd be like, what?
What?
What did I do?
Like Dahmer that one time. Ooh.
No, October. I mean, like these last couple of years of admittedly, I have not been on the ball with October. I mean, COVID was like weird those
Yes.
couple of years. I've been extremely busy the last 2, so I've not really been on my game for October as much. But generally, setting that aside, yeah, it's more making a point trying to hit on houses, just like
Celebrating
JP.
it
Like
all together.
we indulge in haunted shit and spooky shit all year.
Yeah.
You know, so like my fiance Michelle and I, like we decorate for Halloween usually, which is hilarious because it always is
Right.
decorated like
Yeah.
Halloween. So we
Looks
just
great,
like
yeah.
double down
Daddy's
on
gonna appreciate that.
more of the same decorations.
That's amazing.
And then obviously my office and studio is
Yeah.
just like perpetual horror Halloween.
It's perpetual
metal,
horror. So
fantasy land.
it's
so.
really funny because every podcast I'm like, thanks. I say my thank yous at the end. Chris Bonifay for letting me host my show here. And I know I'm pretty vanilla compared to your
shout out to
horror.
Bonifay.
Oh, every time.
I like how you were like barely spooky or
my
whatever
barely
you said. Whatever you
spooky
said.
in your
Yeah.
dark manner. So that's why I think
That's good.
it's pretty amazing.
Disregard the mutilated corpses behind the bar on the wall.
I will admit, the other day I was trying to eat a sandwich and I was like, I don't know where to eat. I was like, oh, I'm gonna eat in front of this mutilated corpse.
While I admire this bloody
I was
corpse,
like,
more ketchup, please.
But Danny was on the same boat because she was like, yeah, what do you mean you're decorating right now? My house is decorated all year round. What are you doing the rest of the
Yeah,
time?
that's the thing. I mean, it's like in fairness, like, I mean, we kind of live like October every month, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like my apartment's always hard out, and Michelle's the same way. It's not just me. Like,
Yeah.
she was like that before we got together. Like,
That's why y'all engaged.
it's always dark and spooky and fucking cobwebs and, crazy shit. Same here. So I don't know. I'm hoping this is the last year that I'm like
Swamped.
unable to like really fully indulge. And I feel like COVID's like kind of really in its final throes, and
Yeah.
a lot of other people in other states listening to this are
Right.
like, what the fuck are you talking
It's
about COVID? It's like,
over.
Yeah.
we live in California. They're really
Yeah, it's
trying to
still
keep it going.
Keeping it going. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
they're
uh,
hanging on by the
There's
thread.
a lot of
They're-
people.
The
I was at the
spirit
UPS store the other
Yeah.
day, and the two people in front of me both were like in their 30s, and they were double masked, and I was just like,
I
I guess we're still
Right.
doing this.
Yeah,
but,
that's
all right.
rough.
here. COVID
Now
is.
your fucking podcast is going to get a label on
I know.
Spotify.
I'm gonna have a little blue
You're going to get
bar.
a warning info
I
label.
haven't had one of those
COVID
warning.
misinformation.
Oh man, they're gonna be like,
View
This
if
is
you
what
want to
happens when you have two Georgia rednecks on your podcast. You get labeled.
the OG ghouls. All right, guys. Is there anything that you guys want the listeners to know in regards to Halloween that maybe they don't know, or that you're like privy to that maybe just maybe you just found out recently?
I went on
It's
Google
Halloween
Maps
day
today.
today.
This is what I have.
Wait, tell me.
I went on Google Maps today
Okay.
to go somewhere.
Massage parlors.
And they
What is
offer,
up with
they
these
offer
massage
this
parlors?
like
It's
spooky
October ritual.
option down below. They offer this spooky option. You click on it, and it just gives you like the top like 12 things to do at a spooky on a spooky level factor or whatever.
On Google Maps?
So it was like haunted houses. It was like where they shot the Halloween, the Halloween
in
house.
Pasadena?
It was.
Like Bela Lugosi's apartment.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Cool.
Like basically, you could do your own horror tour, which Dave and I have actually done before. But I don't know if that's how he came up with that because I just saw it offered because it's October, I guess. And I was like, that's pretty fucking cool.
That's pretty cool.
Like there was some cool stuff on there. There's the Murder House we were talking about the Murder House or the first season of American Horror Story.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Oh,
we
yeah,
get
yeah,
the
yeah.
address for that, and you can like go drive by. And all
Very
that.
cool.
Whatever.
I didn't know that.
There's a lot of
pretty
stuff
cool.
to visit in LA.
Yeah.
A lot of horror movie setups. A lot of, like the La Bianca
sure.
house where the Manson murders is in Los Feliz by my apartment. Like,
Yeah.
there's all this stuff, everywhere. There's a lot of stuff to go
Definitely get out and check out if you're in the LA area, all the really cool
do.
murder
Yeah,
inspired / non-inspired real places that,
there's a lot. Yeah. The Menendez, go to Elm Street where the Menendez brothers killed their family. Ironically, on Elm Street.
Wow, what a
I
twist.
think it was planned.
Cool.
Have a happy Halloween.
Yeah, he's plugging
Yeah.
for you to have
Have
a happy Halloween.
everyone.
Yeah. Drink
Enjoy
shit.
Drink
Kill
shit.
people. Fuck shit up.
Drink shit. Get fucked up and fuck up other people.
Oh my
up and fuck shit up.
All right, guys, that wraps up our show.
We're not going to let her do her sign off.
I just tried to sign off, goddammit. These motherfuckers.
Thanks for tuning in to 96.6 Talks and Sips Radio.
They're going to be really mad when I use this in the trailer because that's what's going to happen. All right, guys. Thank you, podcast listeners and viewers. This couldn't happen without you. Thank you, Patreon subscribers, for the extra little love that you give to the show. Thank you at Chris Bonifay from Sent to Destroy Studios for letting me run my show in your space. Thanks to the Groovy Ted for loaning the podcast a second camera so we can see our awesome guests these two knuckleheads. Thanks, Ted. Thank you to Joshua Taylor for creative setup and producing. Thank you to Eric Ayala for creating all the really spooky graphics that you see in our socials. And thank you, JP and Bonifay, for coming in to play during spooky season. If you want to support the show and are watching, you can use a QR code on the screen. But for those listening who can't see a QR code on the screen, here's a jingle in the meantime.
Do.
How are you gonna leave him hanging, Bonifay?
I didn't know what was happening. I was taken by surprise.
I vetted him. So we're eating up so much.
Du hast mich. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know.
All right,
We tried.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Give her fucking money.
All right, thanks. Wait.
Give her money. I gotta pay for this
Well, then
shit.
she said some shit about supporting the podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
Give her
I
fucking
have
money.
patron subscribers.
I think we should get money
Give
to
her money,
Ramstein for butchering.
Or JP and I'll break into your fucking house with masks on.
Oh, and that's the QR code, everybody. Okay.
And you won't enjoy it. Just for what it's worth. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4.
Better lock the door.
5, 6.
I almost said pick up sticks,
Oh,
which is
God.
also the right answer.
Is it? It is. But also not so good Chinese food place, I think.
What?
What?
Wow.
All right,
I've
lastly,
been there.
don't forget to follow the pod at TALKSNSIPS on Instagram and TikTok. Write in. I love to hear from you. And if you want to talk shit about these ghouls right here, that's at toxinsips@gmail.com. Amazing.
Yeah.
And to find everything that you need in one place, head on over to toxinsips.com. And stay spooky, sippers. We'll see you on the next one.
Nice. Woo, woo.
Bye.
Wow.